Imagine the ground trembling at first light, as if the earth itself were awakening in fury, with the deafening thunder of 10 massive bulldozers rolling into position like an invading army, sealing off every dirt road, every weathered gate, and every possible exit from your cherished family ranch. There, in the midst of the chaos, stood Victoria Langford, the iron-fisted HOA president, gripping a megaphone like a battlefield commander gone rogue, her voice slicing through the dawn haze as she ranted about fabricated health violations, while thick clouds of diesel smoke choked the air, and my 10-year-old daughter, Lily, stared wide-eyed at our terrified horses stampeding in their pens and chickens fleeing in a feathered frenzy. This calculating tyrant, hell-bent on claiming my grandfather's sprawling 52-acre legacy in the rolling hills of rural Kentucky, had no inkling that I'd been discreetly elevated to a pivotal state position, one that granted me the authority to dismantle her web of corruption with nothing more than a single, well-placed phone call. The ordeal traced its roots back 4 long months, to the day I inherited this verdant paradise, a 4th-generation haven of organic crops bursting from fertile soil, free-roaming hens clucking contentedly under the sun, and majestic draft horses thundering across pastures that had remained pristine long before the first cookie-cutter suburb dared encroach. The morning sun would filter through ancient oak trees, casting golden hues over fields where the scent of dew-kissed hay mingled with the robust aroma of my first steaming cup of coffee, a ritual passed down from my grandfather, who had tilled this land with unyielding hands for over half a century. After a divorce that stripped me bare, leaving behind a mountain of debt and a shattered trust in humanity, it was just me, Ezra Harlan and young Lily, piecing together a new life amid the rhythmic sounds of nature, the soft whinnies of our Belgian drafts shaking off the night's chill, the earthy scratch of hens foraging in the dirt. We aimed to turn this heritage ranch profitable, honoring traditions that wove through our family like the roots of the old-growth trees bordering our property. Fate, however, had other plans, courtesy of a recent county rezoning, a shadowy maneuver fueled by deep-pocketed developers that arbitrarily thrust a portion of our land into the clutches of the Evergreen Meadows Homeowners Association. We hadn't signed up for their regime of uniform lawns, synchronized holiday lights, and petty decrees. It was imposed like an unwanted crown. Enter Victoria Langford, a formidable force, mid-50s, with impeccably coiffed auburn hair that defied the elements, cruising in a gleaming black SUV that screamed excess, transplanted from bustling Charlotte and wedded to Edward Langford, a real estate mogul whose business card might as well have read Conqueror of Countrysides. She'd clawed her way to HOA presidency in mere months, campaigning with the zeal of a political firebrand, promising elevated standards enforced through ironclad rules and unyielding surveillance. Her initial salvo landed on a crisp Tuesday morning, shattering the tranquility as she strode up our gravel driveway in impractical stilettos that sank into the soft earth, wielding a clipboard like a scepter of doom. "Mr. Harlan," she declared in a tone laced with condescension, thrusting forward a crisply printed violation notice. "This relic of machinery offends our community's aesthetic integrity." She referred to my grandfather's trusty 1948 Ford tractor, a battle-hardened beast with faded red paint and an engine that purred smoother than any modern contraption, embodying decades of resilient spirit. Adding insult, she deemed our century-old barn a sturdy sentinel of galvanized steel that had withstood tornadoes, floods, and time itself, an architectural abomination, demanding immediate remediation under threat of $600 daily fines until we bowed to her vision of suburban perfection, pointing out that our ranch had sustained the local community with fresh produce and eggs long before her enclave's foundations were poured fell on deaf ears. She flashed a polished smile, the kind that masked daggers. That night, fueled by determination, I delved into dusty legal tomes and online archives until dawn, uncovering agricultural exemptions and grandfather clauses buried in the HOA's own covenants, language twisted with intentional ambiguity, ripe for exploitation by the cunning. Opting for civility, I phoned Victoria the next day, proposing a neighborly sit-down to resolve matters amicably. Her retort? A haughty dismissal, painting me as an uncouth relic unfit for her refined world. Whispers from Evelyn, our 68-year-old neighbor who'd witnessed generations of local intrigue from her porch swing, chilled me to the bone. With eyes sharpened by years in the county clerk's office, she confided over a shared fence. That woman's got hooks in City Hall deeper than a well root. This ain't just HOA pettiness, Ezra. It's a calculated siege for something grander. The gravity sank in. This ranch was our sole lifeline post-divorce, with medical debts from Grandpa's lingering illness looming like storm clouds, and legal fees a luxury beyond reach. Lily had embraced ranch life with childlike wonder, collecting sun-warmed eggs at dawn, grooming our gentle giants with tiny brushes, absorbing lessons in perseverance that books couldn't teach. Yet Victoria's threat struck at our core, awakening a fierce protectiveness inherited from ancestors who had defended this soil through wars and depressions. We rural folk may start with politeness, but when legacies are endangered, we pivot to ingenuity and unyielding resolve. Victoria didn't idle. 2 weeks later, she amplified her assault, lodging a county complaint alleging our operations breached residential density protocols, code for deeming our livestock a nuisance to her pristine bubble. The inspection's timing? Diabolical, coinciding with Lily's 10th birthday bash, as if ruining a child's joy was collateral in her war. The inspector? Victoria's cousin, Reginald, arriving in an official truck with a predetermined scowl and a binder bulging like an overfed tick. Envision the scene. 24 kids laughing amid colorful balloons swaying in the breeze, the sweet vanilla waft of cake blending with Hay's earthy tang, Lily's friends squealing as they fed treats to our calmest mare. Then Reginald barges in, a storm cloud in human form, proclaiming our hen coops, hand-built by Grandpa in the 50s and as solid as ever, unpermitted hazards flouting modern codes. His theatrics rivaled a stage play, but Grandpa's mantra echoed, "Paperwork is your shield." I'd unearthed those original permits during a marathon courthouse dive, documents yellowed with age yet ironclad in legality. Producing them, I watched Reginald's arrogance dissolve, stammering excuses about outdated standards while backpedaling like a crab. Not content with defense, I countered offensively. My research had revealed Victoria's lavish spa deck, flaunted at HOA gatherings amid wine toasts and scheming, erected sans permits, violating setbacks egregiously. My filed complaint, backed by precise photos and measurements, landed like a precision strike, highlighting her flagrant disregard for the rules she wielded like weapons. That evening, Lily pondered innocently, "Why does the grumpy lady hate our chickens, Dad?" I explained how some twist regulations into tools of control, a bitter lesson for her tender years. Evelyn arrived the next day bearing a steaming peach cobbler and sizzling intel. Edward had been schmoozing officials, dangling development synergies like bait. The mosaic formed, a brazen land grab veiled as civic uplift. Grandpa's wisdom rang true. Photograph like a detective, document like a scribe. Reginald slunk away citation-free, but tension brewed. Victoria's next ploy loomed inevitable. Her emergency HOA assembly was a farce, timed for 6:30 p.m. on a Wednesday, prime family hour, convened in her opulent den amid crystal decanters and exotic vacation snapshots, forgetting to invite dissenters like us farmers. The room brimmed with her allies, urban transplants viewing our ranch as a blight on their manicured vistas. Victoria orated from a makeshift podium, chandelier light dramatizing her feint. Alarm, decrying our biohazardous hens as existential threats to health and equity. Nods rippled like a rehearsed chorus. Mrs. Whitaker wailed about rooster crows inducing emotional distress, ignoring her voluntary move to farmland. Mr. Donovan fretted over particulate allergens, blind to his choice of neighbors. Then the hammer, a $60,000 remediation levy to erase our nuisances. Seated discreetly, I recorded procedural lapses aplenty. Grandpa preached patience. Let fools weave their noose. At vote time, I queried quorum, requiring 75% for hefty assessments per Kentucky statutes. Silence descended. Her papers shuffled futilely. They'd mustered barely 35%, proxies absent. Pressing, I demanded 2-year financial audits, spotlighting disbursements to Langford Enterprises, Edwards, outfit. The assembly unraveled. Excuses flew. Exits hastened. Victoria adjourned in panic, her poise shattered. Lily awaited my report, absorbing that enforcing bullies' rules often undoes them. Travis, a neighboring rancher, brought Dawn coffee and news of town chuckles at her debacle, but cautioned, wounded beasts lash. Fiercest. Indeed, surveillance vans appeared, cheap-suited men snapping photos like spies. Victoria hired Neighborhood Guardians Incorporated, linked to Edwards' crony Franklin Voss, to patrol our borders, idling SUVs polluting the air, quizzing customers like suspects. Loyal buyers like Mrs. Leong, a 3-year tomato devotee, endured interrogations, fleeing in droves. When they ticketed grannies for trespass while egg shopping, it crossed into sabotage. Cameras installed, we captured the orchestrated torment. Evelyn revealed her clerk tenure. This is false imprisonment, felony grade. Lily turned sleuth, logging plates meticulously. Travis recruited Sofia Ramirez, a farm law legend who'd felled agribusiness giants. Ranch Rally Fridays invited locals to witness our wholesome setup, countering smears as kids petted horses under guards' glares. Journalist Elena Vargas arrived, snapping thug intimidation. Her exposé igniting outrage. Viral footage of bullied elders shifted tides. Yet Victoria's desperation mounted, recon intensified, foreshadowing apocalypse. Evelyn's archival dig unearthed. The plot: Edwards shell firms encircling ranches for Serenity Hills Estates, our land the jewel for $15 million gains. Emails exposed collusion with Commissioner Gerald Hawthorne, treating farms as obstacles. Patterns emerged: hiked taxes on peers, shamprobes, classic coercion for cheap sales. RICO whispers grew. Lily feared loss like Great Depression tales. I vowed fight. Travis shared parallels. Then, Evelyn's nudge. My overlooked mail held the ace. Interim land commissioner appointment, forgotten amid strife. Sweet irony, control over. Edwards' permits now mine. Sophia beamed. You're the gatekeeper. Travis hooped. Checkmate. The Ranch Alliance convened in our barn, hay-scented strategy sessions with maps showing easement breaches. Leveraging Kentucky's Farm Shield Act, we targeted discriminatory harassment. Audits flayed HOA tax perks via insider payoffs. Lily's Kid Network biked intel. Hashtag Preserve Ranches trended. Elena's serialized corruption, crowdfunding swelled. Ethically, I recused personal matters, appointing impartial panels delaying Edwards' dreams. Gossip spread. Victoria erupted in smears, alleging bias pre-action. Sabotage surged. Bogus complaints, tampered irrigation spewing diesel-tainted water, invalid tickets eroding business. But Inspector Marcus Klein ***, my old pal, debunked fakes, amateur hour. Panels mandated costly studies, stalling empires. Victoria unraveled, ranting at fences on camera. Forensics tied contamination to Voss's gear. Community armored us. Vigils, patrols, tours. FBI escalated on shell fraud. Ethics probes nailed Hawthorne. Yet Predator's finale scorch. Ominous calm preceded dawn assault. Bulldozers besieged at 5:32 a.m. Engines roaring, trapping beasts sans water. Cruelty incarnate. Victoria broadcasted her quarantine, streaming folly. Calmly, I dialed Lily. Countered live-streamed animal plight, viral heartbreak. Evelyn summoned reinforcements. Travis rallied protesters. Sophia filed injunctions. Sheriff Lucas Grant, welfare teams. Prosecutors, feds converged. Amid diesel haze, Lucas demanded proof. Victoria floundered. Stepping forth, boots firm on ancestral gravel, I unveiled. As commissioner, I declare this ranch heritage protected. Gasps. Panels suspended Edwards' ops. Evidence avalanche. Fraud docs, emails. Victoria confessed mid-rant on air. Cuffs snapped. FBI raided. Operators fled. Cheers erupted as machines withdrew. Horses quenched. Lily's stream legendary. Travis led anthems. Evelyn teared. Grandpa's legacy lives. But was my leverage justice or vendetta? Did authority tip scales unfairly or reclaim equity against systemic rot? 6 months hence, Victoria pled to cruelty, fined $60,000 for preservation funds. Edward bankrupt amid fraud suits. Hawthorne ousted, replaced by educator Isabella Torres. HOA reborn as friendly collective. Our ranch evolved. Grants funded education center, scholarships flew, co-op thrived. Festivals bridged divides. Nonprofits saved 22 farms. Laws reformed. Lily Eye's law, bonds endure. Farms aren't barriers, they're bedrock. Battles teach. Document relentlessly, ally broadly. No rights. Preparation trumps might. Yet debate lingers. In power clashes, where's the line between defense and overreach? Was this fair play or role abuse? Share below your HOA horrors, justice views, community conflicts. Let's ignite discussion on right versus wrong.